What's up, YouTube? Cookie Franco here, and I have a very important life update that I would like to share with everyone. And I'm very happy about it. I quit my job officially on Monday, and I feel like it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Um, I am not going to say anything negative about my previous employer because I feel like that doesn't serve anybody. I don't like to put stuff like that out there. I worked for the WIC program. Let's see. I started working for the WIC program in 2009 as a volunteer. And if you're not familiar with what the WIC program is, the WIC program, WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. It's a supplemental nutrition program that is 50 years old, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's a very good program. Um, Half of the babies in the United States qualify for it. It's helped a lot of people. A lot of people know what the WIC program is. If you and People might know about WIC who you assume might not know about it, but if you ask them about it, like I know when I was doing Uber, I would always bring it up to people, and folks would always tell me, "Oh, I remember that. I was on that back in the day when my kids were little, or when they were babies." It's similar to food stamps, but you can only participate in the program if you are a, a family who has kids under 5, or if you're a pregnant woman. So a dad could be on it too if he is raising kids by himself. And he has kids who are under 5 years old. But I started in 2009 as a. I don't want to get my labubu dirty. It's not mine. It's my boyfriend's. Um, I started as a volunteer in 2009 as an outreach worker. Um, so they would send me when I was in college getting my degree for nutrition. They would send me to a lot of different random places. Let me back up though. First of all, I'm glad I don't have any student loans. I'm very thankful for my military pension, and I'm thankful that I have an amazing boyfriend who makes a lot of money, and I'm thankful that I can do Uber in the meantime until I find a job that I really want, something that is more of a fit for me. Um, Comedy is the dream job, but that's not realistic right now to try to support myself doing comedy because it's difficult in the beginning. I've only been doing it for 4 years, and I'm happy to be getting paid something right now, but it's not enough to sustain me. Um, so anyway, the WIC story. When I was in college, I decided to pursue a degree in nutrition because when I was in the Air Force, there was a big emphasis on taking care of yourself and eating right and all that stuff. So that's what led me to pursue that degree. I have a bachelor's degree in family and consumer sciences with a major in dietetics and nutrition. I originally wanted to become a registered dietitian, but the hoops that I was required to jump through, I just was not able to do it at that point in time. There was a lot of barriers for me. So anyway, when I was in college, I kept thinking to myself, well, I need to, have a job lined up so when I graduate. And so a lot of my professors, they were like, well, maybe you should work for WIC. A lot of people who graduate um, work for the WIC program, once they graduate with uh, the folks who had a similar degree or the same degree that I had. So I was like, okay, so me being a proactive person, I started going to all the WIC offices in Georgia that were close to where I lived. And I just, introduced myself to everybody and networked. And I'll say, hey, my name is so and so. I'm going to school for this. If y'all need anybody to take out the trash for y'all or come in and volunteer for anything for y'all for free, let me know. And they remembered me. So when I graduated, I was able to secure a position as a nutritionist for the WIC program shortly after I graduated. This was like 20. I started volunteering in like 2009, going to different like places, the Dollar General, churches, just talking to folks about WIC. You need WIC? You know about WIC? Because WIC is always about numbers, trying to get them numbers. And so that way we could keep the funding and all that stuff. And I worked for Georgia WIC for a while, for like a year. And then I left Georgia WIC to move to Las Vegas. And then I started doing WIC in Las Vegas in 2014. So I started volunteering while I was in school, 2009, graduated school 2012, got the WIC job early 2013. 2014, I left Georgia, moved to Vegas, and started doing WIC in Las Vegas. Since 2014, I helped a lot of families, a lot of kids, helped a lot of women, taught a lot of women how to breastfeed. I remember I was at a Subway like at 1 o'clock in the morning out here one day, leaving the club or something, and this lady was making a sandwich for me. She's like, "Hey, ain't you the WIC man?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." She's like, "Man, you helped me breastfeed my kids. I was able to breastfeed all my kids for a year because you helped me." And there was a lot of stories like that over the years. You know, it's a good program. We help a lot of people. We help a lot of families have food. We educate people how to feed their kids. A lot of people don't know how to feed their kids. A lot of people don't know what to do with that baby when you bring that baby home. You know, we help people with all of that. I helped people with all of that. And I have no regrets. Well, one, I should not have stayed um working for WIC as long as I did. I left a couple times, when I was going through things. I left uh 3 times. The first time I left WIC out here was to go to another agency that does WIC. I went to Nevada Health Centers. There's different agencies out here. There's like 5 agencies in Las Vegas that do WIC. So I went to one like in 2015, and I came back to the company that I left. And then I left again for a year when I got divorced because there was a lot of personal things I had to deal with, and came back. That all happened in 2020. That was rough. And then I came back in 2021 up until last Monday. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. But if you don't know about the WIC program, I would recommend you get educated about it if it's something that you think could help you. Um, I was just done. Like the last probably year or so, I was just completely burnt out. I went on vacation to Mexico for a week and came back, and that didn't help. And I just was not motivated to do anything at the office like I used to. I used to be more proactive. I used to like be more engaged and stuff. Whenever I would show up to the office in the morning, you can see some of these stories, these shorts that I post. I felt like my soul was getting sucked out of my body. And it was my own fault for staying for so long. I should have been more proactive in looking for something else. But I'm very happy that I made the decision to leave. It's a very emotional thing when you leave a job. There's a lot of uncertainties and stuff because it's hard to find a job that you like. It's hard to find a place where you feel like you fit in. It takes time. All that takes time. I'm fortunate that I don't have any kids. That I still have income, and I have options. I'm so glad I started doing stand-up comedy 4 years ago, because that made me realize that I was capable of doing other things. It put me outside of my comfort zone. I was too comfortable at the office. It was just a safety net, and sometimes you have to remove that safety net in order to get to a higher level, to get to where you're supposed to be. It's scary. It's scary, but I thought long and hard about it before I made that decision. My boyfriend was freaking out. I said I was done. He said he felt like he was about to have a stroke. But I don't worry. I don't worry. I've reached out to so many people who are helping me. There's so many like agencies and organizations that help veterans look for a new job. These folks, there's a folks called Hire Heroes. They hooked me up with a whole brand new resume and everything. I never had a resume that looked this good. I was like, is that me? Is that mine? Having a support system of friends and people, all that helps. People who give you props, people who want to see you succeed, all that helps. So if you're going through, I know I'm not the only one. There's probably millions of people who feel like they are stuck. That's why I like to do these videos. There's a lot of people who feel like they are stuck. There's no way out. There is a way. When there's a will, there's a way. And you just got to put your best foot forward, and you got to hit these challenges head on. Like when I'm doing Uber out here now, I'm glad I got a nice vehicle, a new vehicle, a nice vehicle. Hopefully, I mean, I'm pretty. It's big too, so I'm not gonna make a lot of money, but it's temporary, you know. But I could also use this time while I'm doing Uber to network, especially out here in Las Vegas. So you best believe I'm gonna have my little resumes in the car with me. But and motivational speakers, that helps too. If you listen to a lot of positive inputs, I don't watch the news. I don't be around negative people. You got to watch that energy. You got to be around folks who are smiling, folks who got that energy, folks who, like, I like to go to the gym. You see all people like that all the time at the gym. And you'll be amazed with what you can attract when you start changing your vibrations and you start looking for better things. I'm so thankful for the WIC program. If it was not for the WIC program and these folks who gave me a chance and an opportunity all these years, I wouldn't be here right now. But it was time to go. I've seen people waste away at jobs. I remember when I first moved here, there was a lady. She passed away from cancer working that job. Some people just stay. Some people just stay. I can't stay. Ever since I was little, I've never stayed anywhere. This was the longest working for WIC for over a decade total. This is the longest I've ever been anywhere. But before that, I used to bounce. When I was 8 years old, my mama told me not to go to the store by myself. Guess what I did? I went to the store. This was the 90s. You could do that then. And then when I first got my driver's license, my mama said, "Don't you drive to the next town. Don't you drive to Macon. That's far." I went to Macon in that car. When I joined the military, I was stationed in the UK on the base. Everybody on base was like, "Don't go to London. It's dangerous down there. Don't go there. They don't like Americans." Man, as soon as I knew how to get that taxi and get to the train station, I was in London every weekend. And then when I left the military, I said, "I'm moving to Atlanta, Georgia." Why are you moving to Atlanta? You don't know anybody there. What you gonna do for work? What are you gonna do? I'll figure it out. And I figured it out. And I lived in Atlanta for 4 years. And then when I was ready to move to Vegas, what you gonna do in Vegas? You don't know anybody there. You got a job lined up? No. You don't know anybody there? No. Well, I'll figure it out. here I am now, 11 years later, still figuring it out. That's what you got to do in life. Um, Speaking of figuring it out, I need to figure out what jokes I'm gonna be telling tomorrow night at Wise Guys Comedy Club. I just got the email, so I'm booked there tomorrow for the open mic, and I have my own comedy show at the Phoenix Bar and Lounge once a month here in Las Vegas. We have the next one is Saturday, October 4th at 7:00 p.m. We have an amazing lineup. We have Tanner Tuttle, Ray Earl, Tabloid, and check out the flyer on my IG. You can see it there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But the whole point of this video is to tell all you people out there who are burnt out at a job and who feel like there's no other option and there's nothing else you could do. There is. It's just very difficult. And do everything within your power to develop an exit strategy, because the only one who's going to look out for you 100% is you. I believe everybody has a talent. Everybody has something that they're good at. And everybody has something that you were put here to do. I mean, I'm not religious, but like I feel like there's something that everybody is good at. You just have to find it. I love talking in front of people. I love public speaking. I love public speaking ever since I was in second grade, and I was in the classroom telling jokes. And when my mom came to pick me up, the teacher was asking my mom, "Oh, is that true? All them stories you was telling, is that true?" I was lying like crazy, making up stories about how we were gonna kill and cook a turkey for Thanksgiving, and the turkey got loose in the house. Crazy. I'm actually going to see my parents in a week. They don't know I'm coming, so I'm going to surprise them. I haven't seen them in like 5 years. So this has been a very interesting and a very good transition period for me. I feel the healthiest I've ever felt in my life. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of me. I was just so sad every day showing up to that office and depressed and annoyed and irritated. And it was so obvious to everybody that I worked with. Only one person told me that she noticed it. And it was nice to have someone acknowledge that. So if you see somebody at your job, maybe you don't talk to them a lot, maybe you don't go out to eat, you don't eat lunch with them and stuff, check on them, because it's nice when somebody checks on you, like genuinely checks on you, when they can tell like that you're not okay. So do what you got to do. I'm gonna be driving my ass off out here on the strip and in these streets. Somebody was trying to call me. I was done anyway. So hey, yeah, like I was saying, if you're in Las Vegas and you need a ride, hit me up. I'll be out here in these streets. But y'all take care. Have a great week. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll holler at y'all. Do what you got to do. Bye bye.